Morning, everybody. Welcome to Not Quite Hammerspace Recording today. I'm in Revolver Recording Studios, which is the studio adjacent to mine where I like to do a lot of recording sessions, drums, and all that sort of stuff. I wanted to do a little video because I'm here at the studio about an hour before the band shows up, which is, typically what I do every time I've got a recording session. And I've got a couple of pieces of gear that I've demonstrated on my channel before, and I want to show how I'm actually using them in a recording session, just in the setup phase. Like, I won't show the track because it hasn't come out yet and I'm still messing with it quite a bit. We're in yesterday getting drum sounds, just putting the band in the room together so that we could record all the guide tracks and those sort of things. We'll go up and do the guitars in the studio with the amps and stuff once all the drums have been tracked. But I just want to show you a little bit about what the studio looks like at the moment and some of the gear that I'm using. All right, here we are in Revolver Recording Studios, which is the studio right below mine. I like to use this room for full band tracking, recording drums, anything where there's like a lot of sound or a lot of people. This studio works really great. Really, really great room for drums. Like, I'm always really happy with the sound we've got here, that I get here. So here's the drum kit. This is the band's called Dieback. They're a bunch of legends, and we're doing a couple of tracks, or 12 or something, over the next few days. So drum kit's all set up and ready to go, but the challenge is that you're never going to record drums completely by themselves, especially at the start of a project, because just recording drums to nothing else can be a very isolating and boring experience. So, really very common thing is to have some sort of guide tracks that the drummer can use as a reference point so they know what part of the song they're in, and I can listen to what parts of the song are supposed to happen at that point in time. So what I have done is I have very messily set up a bunch of cables and a bunch of gear, because this is what a lot of sessions look like. It's not all perfectly rolled cables. Everything just becomes a bit of a mess. I have a little headphone mixer for each member of the band, the little Behringer P16s, which are really, really great. I hate mixing headphones for individual musicians because it takes so long. So what we have is a little station here for our bass player. And I believe he's taken his pedal board with him overnight, but that's okay. We've got a little station for guitar over on that side, and we've got a station for guitar over on this side. What this means is, especially yesterday when we tracked all these guides, I could put everybody in the room at once. They could all play the song as they are used to playing at a rehearsal or at a gig, and we could just use just those guitar parts and bass parts for the drummer to play to record his proper tracks. I mean, again, it's not rocket surgery over here. Very, very common way of working. What is a little bit difficult is that I like to have isolation and separation of each element of what I'm recording. And if you've got a gigantic 4x12 blaring in the room with the drum kit, you just get lots of spill. You get lots of spill in vocal mics for guys, all these sort of things. Look, it's not the end of the world when you're doing the guides, but it can just feel a bit messy, and people end up cranking up their headphones louder, and I don't really like that very much at all. So what I have is, firstly, our bass player, who sits over here. He's going fully direct. I believe he's got a dark glass pedal, some sort of dark glass pedal with the XLR out on it, and that sounds really good. But our electric guitar player over on this side, he's got this Marshall JVM 210, which he really likes the sound of, and I also really like the sound of it. I worked with these guys about maybe 9 months ago, and we used this JVM for a lot of his guitar parts, and it sounded great. I did a video with a 410 a few months ago that belongs to Uncle Leon, and I got kind of into the JVMs after using this JVM. So what I typically do when I'm doing a session like this is I want to have some way of recording a guitar player quiet, some way where it's not just putting a bunch of unnecessary energy into the room. I said these guitar parts will get redone at some point, but if we've gone to all the trouble, if the performance is really good and the drum sound is really good and all these sort of things, there's no reason you can't use the drum performance from the guides and have that to keep a track if the energy's right and all those sort of things. So again, if we've got all these other guitar bits blaring out through everything, it can be a bit of a pain. So I've got this JVM. Today, I'm using this 2 Notes Captor X, and this is the Captor X16. This is the original Captor X, not the Plus version that I demoed a few weeks ago. And this thing is awesome. What I did on this is a couple of things to make it easy for me, because I have a lot of gear and I forget what things are. So what I have on the top is a couple of little notes. Firstly, just saying it is a 16 ohm unit. I just like hand wrote it on a piece of paper and stuck it on there. I also, this is a little tip for anybody that has a lot of gear like me, label your power supplies upside down, Captor X, because I've got a lot of these like, you know, wall wart style power supplies, and I always throw them in a drawer and I never remember what they are. So put a little label on that as well. But anyway, I have here this Captor X loaded in with some impulse responses that I really like the sound of. The 2 notes ones are cool, but I'm really familiar with the ones that either I've made or that I've been given. So the HSV30 is my Marshall cabinet from upstairs. It's not the IR that I've got available for free on the website, which please go and download that if you want a cool sounding IR. But it's just one that I've used for a couple of years and I think it sounds really good. The LT TV Mix 7, I think it is. That's Uncle Leon's Greenbacks IR that everyone seems to really like. I've got that in there on number 2 because you do have the presets, and I can just like quite easily go click, 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 and flip to the presets that I like. There is a Michael Nielsen Big Hairy Guitars one in there as well. I can't remember which one that was that I loaded in, but I bought that IR pack of his probably like whenever it came out, like 2019 or 18 or something like that. There's a couple of IRs in that I really like, so I chucked one of them in there. And then I've also got an IR of my Evil Robot 1x12 cabinet, which I think sounds really cool. I might do a demo of that amp soon. But the speaker in it as well doesn't get that much love. People really don't like it, but I like it a lot. So again, on the front of the unit, I just said to the guitar player, look, I'm going to plug your amp into the Captor X. All I need you to do then is play guitar as normal. You can just select which preset you like while you're listening in headphones. Just go 1 to 4, tell me which one sounds best. I mean, he landed on the Evil Robot one, which is interesting. It's probably not the one that I would have immediately gone to for the sound he wants, but if that's what he likes, that's what he likes, and that's really awesome. So on this side of the room, we've got his amp that he's used to running completely silently into a box that's going to Pro Tools, not putting any extra energy or any extra noise into the room. He's got complete control over that with his little headphone mixer. And so once it's all connected in and, you know, the band understands what they're doing and how to use these little guys, then it's all self-sufficient and happy days, and I'd have to do less work. And yeah, I wonder if I'm going to get any comments about the state of some of these cables. And if I do, it's because those people haven't been in real recording studios before. Let's come to the other side of the room. Now what we have here is an EVH 2x12 cabinet with, I've changed the speakers to some vintage 30s, I think. But what do we have sitting on top of it? Oh, look at that. It's the Synergy Syn20IR, which I've featured on a lot of videos over the last, well, how long have I had the YouTube channel for? Since September last year. And again, in recording studio, there's a blanket in the back there, just in case you get cold. Not really, that goes over the front of the kick drum, just in case you need to isolate the kick drum a bit more. But on this guy right here, this has a wicked sounding XLR output and IR loader on it, which for this band, I thought this would be a really great unit to track these guides with. The last time I worked with this band, I ended up using a 5153 for a lot of this guitar player's parts because we went through quite a few options actually, but that's the one that we settled on as being the appropriate sound for this project. So I thought, well, that's perfect. I'll bring the Syn20IR downstairs for this session. I've got the 6505 module handy, so I'll pop that in the unit. And literally, that was that. Having this clean channel was super useful because there were some like really like clean sounds required for the guide tracks. So I just said to him, like, there's the channel select button. Just flick onto whichever channel you like, and you don't really have to think about it any more than that. This specific module in this specific circumstance, I really appreciate how well laid out it was, because I just said to him, like, you got this channel here, you got that channel there, you swap it with that, and then see you later, have a bit of fun. And after about 5 seconds of explanation, he went and did it, and we didn't have to discuss it at all. And I thought the sounds were great and very usable. When I go to track these guitars properly, I might actually just try this head, or I might pop the module into my Syn2s and try it with that as well, just to see what it sounds like. But again, these are such useful, like this and the Captor X in a studio like this. Like, it's so useful. They sound amazing, but they're really usable and user-friendly for the artists. And that's the sort of thing that I really lean towards. This studio doesn't have a plethora of booths in it, unfortunately. So I can actually put one cabinet in one isolation room if I need to do that. But it can get a little bit loud when I'm trying to listen in the control room. So yeah, having the Captor X for the guitar player on that side of the room, who I know is very specific about his sound, that worked really great. So anyway, that is a little explanation of what I'm doing for this particular session. I'm super happy with how this is all sounding. We're going to get stuck into recording some more. Well, we're going to be doing drums all day today and all day tomorrow, and probably be transitioning upstairs towards the end of tomorrow to get some different guitar sounds and set some of that stuff up. So yeah, wish me luck. Thanks for watching the video. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, then hey, just give me a subscribe and give the video a like and all that sort of stuff. I might put some clips of this up when the tracks are finished, or if the band is cool with me just putting a little bit of stuff on the up on the YouTube for you to listen to. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. So that's the JVM. That's the Syn20IR. And complete silence with no spill.